Our world has many interesting research projects taking place as we speak, and it is exciting to take a look at those interesting findings, from eco-friendly projects to celestial events to brand new species. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be looking at 3 interesting discoveries and projects you may have missed. Unidentified 15,000-year-old viruses found in Tibetan glaciers. A recent discovery has uncovered ancient viruses which were previously unknown to humanity. These newly discovered viruses were frozen in the Tibetan glaciers for 15,000 years. This event presents yet another effect of climate change that we have begun experiencing. The discovery was made by researchers who analysed ice samples from the Glacier ice cap of the Tibetan Plateau in China. This particular ice cap was riddled with airborne particles that were trapped during their original formation. The glacier had formed gradually, allowing for layers to be built clearly on top of one another. Each layer of ice represented a period in which the glacier grew. Dozens of intriguing particles and pathogens were found within each layer of ice, with every layer more historic than the last. The leading microbiologist of the study, Zhiping Zhong, remarked, "These glaciers were formed gradually, and along with dust and gases, many viruses were also deposited in that ice. When researchers began observing the earliest formed layers of the glacier, that is when they made their most shocking discovery. They stumbled upon a virus that had never been documented before, one that was dated to be an estimated 15,000 years old. The discovery has motivated archaeologists and microbiologists alike across the world. This find tells researchers that there's still things out there that are waiting to be discovered. Finding ancient viruses that have been so well preserved allows us to gain a greater insight into the biological conditions of our planetary past. During the time that the glacier was formed, the planet was under very extreme weather conditions that we have never seen before to this extent. As climate change continues to become a greater concern at the forefront of research, we are beginning to delve deeper into valuable information from studying extreme bouts of climate change in the past. With everything that's happened recently, it is ever more pressing to determine how will potentially dangerous bacteria and viruses respond to climate change. Studying ancient viruses may be the key to unlocking the answer. As many ancient glaciers begin melting in the rising temperatures, biologists and pathologists have begun scrambling to preserve as much material as possible. Glaciers contain some of the most valuable information regarding ancient viruses and pathogens. Another potential danger regarding these melting glaciers is that the viruses may be brought back to life in the warmth. Viruses that have been frozen in time for centuries have been found to re-emerge as powerful and contagious as ever. This exact event took place in Siberia in 2016. A 12-year-old boy passed away after being infected with anthrax, an extremely rare disease that was largely thought of as being extinct since 1957. Around the same time as the boy's loss of life, over 20 people were hospitalized after contracting the same disease. Later, it was theorized that a 75-year-old reindeer had been the cause of the outbreak. In the early to mid-1940s, when the disease was more prominent, a reindeer had contracted anthrax. When the animal passed away, its carcass was covered underground and frozen. The soil remained in permafrost until 2016. In 2016, several heat waves passed through Siberia and caused the soil to defrost. It was at this time that the 12-year-old boy and many other community members contracted anthrax. Scientists argue that the virus within the animal carcass had been preserved in ice, but had not been eliminated. Upon the climate warming, the disease was released and claimed the young boy's life. This devastating tragedy shocked the world and only further proved that climate change is an imminent threat. Amazon rainforest now emits more CO2 than it absorbs. It is no secret that the climate crisis is growing worse with each passing day. The harmful effects of burning fossil fuels, the pollution of the environment, and the disastrous impact of deforestation has been known for years, and yet little has been done to prevent this. And now, as of July 2021, the Amazon rainforest, which has been helping us reduce carbon dioxide emissions, cannot help us anymore. Scientists have confirmed that the Amazon rainforest is now emitting more CO2 than it can absorb. One study shows that these CO2 emissions from the Amazon alone are reaching 1 billion tons each year, when in the not-too-distant past, the Amazon had absorbed CO2 emissions from elsewhere, reducing the overall levels of carbon dioxide polluting our atmosphere. Instead of reducing harmful gases, the Amazon is now adding to them. One key factor is fires that are deliberately being set to use the land for beef and soy production. Other contributors are the ever-rising temperatures and the increasing frequency of droughts, all of which have accumulated to make the southeast region of the Amazon a source of CO2, not a way to reduce it. The state of the Amazon now should serve as a dire warning that the climate crisis, particularly the use of fossil fuels, is at an all-time high, and acting is more urgent than ever before. The encouragement of deforestation by the government of Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, has been heavily criticised, with some European countries discussing blocking an EU trade deal with Brazil until action is taken to help the Amazon. The climate crisis poses a real threat to us, to animals, to plants, and to the earth. With the Amazon now producing more carbon dioxide than it is absorbing, the crisis is reaching staggering new levels of severity. New research and discoveries happen continuously throughout society, resulting in new ideas, understandings, and expectations for future research. 3.5 billion-year-old Australian fossils are oldest ever found. In ancient fossilized rock formations, called stromatolites, found in the Dresser Formation fossil site of the Pilbara region of Western Australia, researchers have finally detected traces of organic matter and described their feelings in a new study published by the journal Geology. This is an exciting discovery. For the first time, we're able to show the world that these stromatolites are definitive evidence for the earliest life on Earth. Geologist from the University of New South Wales and leading author of the new study, Raphael Baumgartner, said in a press release. In 2016, scientists claimed to have found 3.7 billion-year-old fossils in Greenland, which unseated the Pilbara fossils record. Later research determined that those Greenland fossils were plain old rocks, and the crown was returned to the Australian fossils. But although researchers were confident that the Pilbara fossils were the real deal, it had not actually been conclusively proven that they contained signs of life. They had the shape and structure of microbial stromatolites, but no evidence of organic matter to back it up. Baumgartner and his team went digging. They analysed previously drilled core samples from deep underground, below where the rocks could have been affected by weather. Researchers analysed the samples in thin slices using multiple techniques, including scanning electron microscopy and scanning transmission electron microscopy, energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy, and Raman spectroscopy, nanoscale secondary ion mass spectrometry, and stable carbon isotope analysis. The team's analysis revealed that the stromatolites are predominantly made up of a mineral called pyrite, riddled with nanoscopic pores, and the pyrite includes nitrogen-bearing organic material, as well as strands and filaments of organic matter that closely resemble the remnants of biofilms formed by microbe colonies. The organic matter that we found preserved within pyrite of the stromatolites is exciting. We're looking at exceptionally preserved coherent filaments and strands that are typically remains of microbial biofilms, Baumgartner said. Previously, a different team of University of New South Wales researchers found evidence of 3.5 billion-year-old microbes in hot spring deposits in the Pilbara. Because those deposits are about the same age as the crust of Mars, it is thought that they could tell us how to find potential fossils on Mars, especially since there is evidence the red planet once had hot springs too. Indeed, NASA has been investigating the Pilbara region to try to pinpoint possible geological signatures that indicate the presence of stromatolites. There are so many extraordinary things on Earth to discover. As we stumble upon more and more interesting finds, how will these discoveries shape the future of humanity? Only time will tell. But what do you make of these discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.